Hi everyone, welcome to a Replica Airguns video. My name is Michael K, and we're looking at another spring piston air rifle for you. Now what I kind of like about this model is the fact that it's very compact and very inexpensive. Yet it seemed to perform pretty well for me during my tests. Now this rifle is made by Kimar, and the model is the K760. It shoots .177 caliber lead pellets. It has a claimed manufacturer's feet per second rating of up to 450 FPS. Now it's metal and polymer, so the stock is polymer. A lot of the actual rifle components are metal, including the trigger. Now this gun isn't very big, as I said. It's about 33 inches long in total, and it has just under a 14-inch barrel. And the barrel, of course, is rifled. It also has an adjustable rear sight, so you can adjust it for elevation and windage. As far as I know, there's no way to mount a scope on this rifle. And from what I can tell, the trigger is non-adjustable also. We're just going to quickly take a look around this gun. There's not a whole lot to show you. It's a very typical break barrel design air rifle. And what I mean by that is you break the barrel slightly and you cock it all the way. I'm not going to do it because when you cock these guns, they pretty much need to be shot. You shouldn't leave the spring cocked for any length of time. Otherwise the spring can weaken over time. And generally you don't want to dry fire a spring piston air rifle also, because it's also not good for the spring. You load the pellets right here typically, and you would do that once the spring or the rifled barrel has been cocked. You can see here we have our front sight. Not a lot going on here. There's our front sight. I'd like to show you this a little bit. You can kind of see it, how it's, I like the hooded sight. And the sight picture is not bad on this gun. On the back, hard to see a little bit here, but we have this little V-notch rear sight, and again you can adjust it for elevation and for windage. Again, here's the right side. Just want to show you the whole stock. Now the stock is synthetic. As I said, it's a plastic polymer synthetic stock. It's sort of a brownish taupey color. This gun comes in a box, very basic cardboard box, nothing much to it. It does come with a manual. Now the manual is for a bunch of different guns, so there's actually some pictures of other guns in here. All the specifications you need are inside as well. Okay, so at this point we're going to head outside and we're going to do the shooting portion of this test. I'm going to shoot 3 rounds through my chronograph just to get an idea of what the actual real-world average feet per second is. And then I'm going to shoot 5 rounds from 30 feet out in a freestanding but semi-rested position. So the front of the gun will be rested on a sandbag, but I'll be standing and shooting. And we're going to do that from 30 feet out on a target, again, 5 shots, to see what kind of accuracy we can get just using the open sights on this gun. Alright, so let's head outside and see how well this gun does. Okay, so I've got my Kimar Model 760 break barrel spring piston .177 caliber rifle here. It's a very compact spring piston rifle, and we're going to shoot 3 rounds through the chronograph. I'm only shooting 3 rounds because there's no CO2 involved. This gun will not cool down and shoot slower as the CO2 cools it. So we're just going to fire 3 rounds through here to get an average. Alright, so let's go ahead. Shot number 1. .444.5, and this gun has an expected feet per second claimed of about 450, so we're right on target here. Shot number 2. 430, a little lower. Now I notice these pellets stick out just a hair, and they're actually, you can see the pellet residue right here. Alright, last shot. 448.7. So almost right up to the 450 feet per second claim rating. Now I am using a lighter grain pellet. These are RWS. They are 6.9 grain, and they are on the light side, so it's good to test this gun with the lighter pellets to try and get the maximum feet per second out of it. Alright, so let's head to the target portion of this test and see how well we do from 30 feet out in a semi-rested position on target. Okay, I've got my target set up. I'm going to head back 30 feet. I'm going to shoot 5 rounds into this target and see how we do. Again, I'm going to be in a semi-rested position. So what this means is the front part of the gun is going to be rested on a sandbag, but I will be standing. So there's going to be a little bit of body movement going on. All right, so let's head back and shoot 5 rounds. Alright, haven't really sighted this gun in. A little bit heavier trigger than what I'm used to. Might affect my accuracy a little bit. Guess we'll see. Shot number 3 going on here. Shot number 4. And shot number 5. Here we go. Again, these are just open sights. Well, not a bad grouping at all. Most of them right in the black. I had one come out a little bit there. If I had got this one shot up higher, that would be under an inch. As it looks, we're just a little bit over an inch here because that circle is about 1.5 inches in diameter. But really not bad with open sights. Not really practiced up with this gun. Again, only a semi-rested position. Still not too bad at all. Alright, so let's head on inside and finish up this review. Alright, so using the fairly light grain, 6.9 grain RWS pellets, I was able to get this nice little compact, inexpensive air rifle right up to the manufacturer's claimed 450 feet per second rating. Not bad at all. And as you can see here in the target accuracy portion of the test, I was able to get this gun really nicely centered on target, even though I really didn't play around much with sighting it in. I just took a couple shots and then guesstimated where I should be at with it. And I was still able to get it right centered on target, and really not a bad grouping at all. Now if you were actually to remove this one flyer at the bottom here, you can see here, this was actually well under an inch. Now that's not bad, considering I was just using open sights, and I was shooting from a standing position, just resting the front of the gun on a sandbag. Alright, so let's quickly go over some of the pros and the cons for the Kimar K 760 break barrel spring piston .177 caliber rifle. Now first off, the price is right at just over $50. Right now I'm selling it for $59 at the Replica Airgun store. You really can't beat that price. It's really a pretty good shooter for the money. I also like the fact that it's very compact, so really anybody can shoot this gun, whether you're an adult. The spring is fairly light, so it's easy to cock it, even if you're younger and you don't quite have the arm strength for the more powerful spring piston rifles. This rifle also shot really well just using the open sights. I was able to get a really nice grouping with it. And it's also nice that this gun's made in Italy. A few things that I didn't like about the gun. As far as I know, there isn't a way to add a scope to this gun. Now it's a pretty basic gun, and I think really a scope would be a little bit of overkill on this rifle. Now the trigger was fairly stiff, and it's non-adjustable, but it's definitely a good trigger setup for somebody who's new to airgunning because it's going to be a little bit safer. It's not going to go off as easily or accidentally, and it's also going to teach that new shooter how to really take their time and get the shot off properly. And if you haven't noticed, this gun is really simple in design. There's not much to it. Everything about it is simple, the looks, the design. So it's really not going to win any beauty contests. But I doubt that it's going to let you down because it's a bare bones gun. It only really has the parts that you need to make this gun work. Alright, so that pretty much wraps up this review of the Kimar Model K 760 break barrel spring piston .177 caliber air rifle. Again, I'm selling this gun in the Replica Airgun store for $59. It's a real deal. And don't forget to come down to the Replica Airguns website and check out all my articles and reviews. And of course the Replica Airguns store, where I have lots of other products for you. Replica airguns, blank guns, and accessories. If you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, please consider it. And also check out my Twitter and Facebook channel. Username is Replica Airguns. Thanks again for watching another Replica Airguns video. And until next time, take care.